Hello everyone, welcome today. This will be a review for a new in-ear monitor that was sent to me by a company called Tipsy. A big shout out to them because they were kind enough to send this out to have it reviewed on my channel. Now, this model is the Tipsy EPZ Star 1. It's a collaboration between Tipsy and EPZ. EPZ makes more or so budget earphones in the $20 to $30 range most of the time, while this brand make high-end, not really high-end, but at least in the higher end segment of earphones. Like if you look at their Drummer One in-ear monitor, it's almost $200. If you look at their Drummer One Pro, I think the Drummer One Pro, that model is more expensive. So this model is about $90. So this is the Star One, and this is the box you get it in. You know, when you have it purchased, it comes in a very simple box. The box is simple enough that you won't really stress yourself to unbox it most of the time. This is how it looks like. Now I've taken out the earphone from the box. There is no earphone here now. I'll show you the earphone that I got. Now, the thing here is that when you take out this, you will see other accessories like your cable will be in this pouch. No, not really that the cable. The cable is already attached to the earphone when it came, but like the pouch is where you can put your your earphone if you want to. I have many quality cases, so I don't need this pouch, to be fair. And when you bring it out, you will see that this particular pouch has the ear tips inside. And as for the ear tips you get, I've taken out the ear tips. Let me find it. Okay, so this is where you see the ear tips. So this is the ear tips. You get this white flange type of ear tips. This is what you get. But to be fair, I didn't make use of that. This is the earphone itself. This is the earphone itself. This is the Star One. There's the Star One looks like this. Honestly, I would say it looks good. It looks good. It looks good enough. I don't think a lot of people would have any major issues with this earphone in terms of its design. It is fancy enough. Let me bring it close to the camera so you can see how it looks like. This is the Star One, and it looks very nice. And I love the fact that they sent me the white edition. They have the other edition, which is the blue edition, but I like this white edition. I prefer it. It looks a lot more beautiful compared to most earphones that I've had that is $100. In fact, I would say it's pretty much almost the nicest looking $100 earphone I've owned till date. So it looks quite good. Now, once you get it, the cable, as you can see, the cable is very, 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 very thin. I would say it's a 4-core cable. It is easy to work with. It doesn't have much kinks. It doesn't tangle. It doesn't have much microphonics. So you won't have any issues using this cable long term in terms of wearing it and using it with the earphone. You won't have much of that issues. But regardless, so this is how the earphone looks like. You put it in your ears and you can see it seals me well enough. It is comfortable, and one thing I love about it is that it seals you well enough that you won't have much of an issue using it outdoors, in a busy area. And the way they designed this earphone, they made it in such a way that you can use it to do live recording or live listening sessions. Maybe if you work in a studio and you want something that is budget enough, this is what you get. Once you're in a studio, you don't want to have anything that has mod, bass, and all that. I'll get to the sound very soon, but this is what you get if you don't want to have much of an issue like getting a decent headphone or earphone that can record for you or listen back on recordings. This is what you get. Now, the ear tip I have here is the easy ear tip. The easy ear tip. That's the one I have here. I don't use the ear tip the company sent to me. I've said this on many of my videos that I do not use the ear tips the company sent to me again. I use the ear tips that I personally get from Easy Ear Tips. So this is their ear tip. I use the smaller size because this is what fits into my ears. You can see clearly how it looks like. It's a very, very nice ear tip. And not only that, the Easy Ear Tip has the best sound that I've ever heard from any ear tip. It turns down high frequencies and make it a very, very lively sounding and with bass and everything. It brings out more bass and makes it very, 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 very tight, clean, and you will enjoy your music better with the easy ear tips than all these random ear tips the companies used to send along with their earphones. So I prefer easy ear tips over any other ear tip brand out there. Now, in terms of sound quality, the Tipsy EPZ Star 1 has a Harman tuning, but it has, I would say, a bit of a bright edge to its tuning. It's a very, 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 very nice set. I love the sound. I really like the sound a lot, even though I'm a bass head, but I don't always discredit bright sets if they are done correctly. This is a bright set that I love. Just the sound is mesmerizing. At least for in fact, the first time I put it in my ears, immediately I said, I didn't even check the price tag because I didn't know much about this model. I report on earphones, but I didn't know much about this model. Immediately I was like, this earphone doesn't sound like a cheap set because the case looked like it was a cheap set in the $30-$40 range. I was like, this is not a cheap set. This thing sounds more expensive than what I thought it would be in terms of price tag. And then I checked and saw it's a $90 set. And then I realized that the driver they put in here is fantastic. So they're using a new 10 millimeter liquid crystal polymer dynamic driver in here. It is tuned to have a very, 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 very neutral presentation. The neutral presentation has a tilt towards the higher frequency where it shines a lot, where it brings out a lot of detail in music as well as movies. Now, one thing I love about this set, and I will say this right now, is that it still has very good bass. It has very, very good bass. And I normally don't say this about bright earphones. You know, one thing with bright earphones is that once they are bright, companies tend to not give you that bass that you need. They tend to remove that. They almost feel like it is not that important for your listening experience. But that's not the case with this model. This model is fantastic. It is beautiful. It matches my color. White is always my favorite color. And honestly, it's just a fantastic set. Now, in terms of bass, the bass, the bass is more or less a bass that leans towards the sub bass than the mid bass. Now, what I mean that it doesn't have that bass that keeps pounding on your ears like a bass headset, but it has this rumble. It digs low when like you are listening to low bass, where it goes to that low frequency, where it goes so low, it tries to dig out that low frequency. It goes to that rumbly part, but then removes that upper bass part where you kind of hear that heavier bass, because the upper bass is where the bass is more dominant most of the time in most recording, regardless of music, movies, games, and whatever. Bass is more dominated in the upper region than in the lower region. The lower region is going to favor movie lovers, game lovers, people that need listen to things with gunshot explosions. This is a beautiful set because it's not a bass head. It was never made to be a bass head model. And the reason I say that this thing is very capable in bass is when I watched Monkey Man. I watched the latest Monkey Man movie. It's out on digital. I watched it on 4K. I watched it on my computer. No, not my computer, but on one of my tablets. I watched it with this. I paired both of them up, and people will say, okay, how did I get the best out of it with a tablet? So I not only just paired it up with the tablet, but I also used a DAC. You know, I used a DAC combo system. So I used a top-in DAC, you know, no, a top-in amplifier paired with a field DAC. You know, you can pair that two up, and then you connect it up to either your tablet or your mobile phone. But I love my tablet, my Samsung S series tablet, because of the OLED experience. Once you watch a high 4K movie on your tablet, the experience is mind blowing. Then you can actually test out your in-ear monitor a lot better. You know, so the experience, the combination of the two is just incredible. Experience is amazing. And as for phones that I tested it with, I use a V50. You know, I use a V50, LG V50. I'm recording right now with the LG G7 Plus. The V50 is charging beside me. So I use an LG series phone to test it out as well. So to see how it can perform on mobile phones. And it's wonderful. It is wonderful. It's just a wonderful set. It's tuned very well. It has a neutral tuning. Should work with most devices, most gadgets that you have, your laptop, your tablets. It's just perfect. It really is perfect. That's how you know how good an earphone can perform. If you plug it direct to your device, and it performs very, very well. So look, the Star One is highly recommended from me to you guys. I'm going to compare it to other sets in its price range of $100. Even though I like the sound, like I said, it's a neutral to bright sound. Even though I like the sound, it still has some downsides, but its downsides isn't like bad, you know. It doesn't have so much of a downside that I can say, okay, don't go for it. It has good enough bass. It's not a bass headset. It's bright enough to give you a lot of details, but it's not going to give you the complexities of details that you get from EST drivers and all that high-end earphones. It's just a very well-tuned dynamic driver earphone, and that's what I care about. As long as it performs very well for my recordings, I'm going to give this a rating of an 8 out of 10 for tuning, honestly. And then the design, the comfort, the build, the white design, which is my favorite color, everything makes this a high grade for me. So I give it an 8 out of 10, highly recommended. Go out there, purchase it, and I will drop details for you guys down below where you can buy it. So do use the link in the description to the Tipsy store that I'm going to drop for you guys. I will drop their Amazon store, so you buy from them directly there in the description below. So subscribe to the channel, do like our content. I'll see you guys very much next time.